Welcome back to our channel, Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of British one-penny coins you might have in your pocket right now that could be worth millions in today's market. Some of these pennies were minted over a century ago, featuring iconic monarchs like King George V, King Edward VII, and even Queen Elizabeth II, and yet many people unknowingly spend them as ordinary coins. But these coins carry rare features, unique minting errors, or limited production runs that make them highly sought after by collectors worldwide. In this video we'll show you which pennies to keep, how to identify their rarity, and what their incredible market value looks like today. Stay tuned, because one penny in your hand could be worth a small fortune. Let's get started. First up, the 1899 Great Britain one-penny coin with a veiled head of Queen Victoria represents the final years of the Victorian era and shows the aging monarch wearing a widow veil, which symbolized her long mourning period, and this design was introduced in the later part of her reign to reflect dignity, continuity, and imperial strength, making the coin deeply meaningful for collectors, historians, and viewers who appreciate stories behind old money. And this penny was struck in bronze and circulated widely across the United Kingdom and the British Empire during a time of global influence, industrial power, and social change. This coin does not carry a mint mark, which is normal for British pennies of this period because they were struck at the Royal Mint in London, and the absence of a mint mark does not reduce authenticity and instead places the coin firmly within standard circulation issues. And the veiled head design is admired for its mature portrait style with detailed hair veil and regal expression, showing Queen Victoria as an experienced ruler at the height of her legacy. In rough condition, this 1899 penny would show heavy wear with flattened detail, surface marks, dark toning, and possible edge damage. Yet even in this state it still holds historical value because it is more than 100 years old and comes from a period when coins were used daily by working people, merchants, and families, making each surviving example a small witness to everyday life in late 19th century Britain. From a rarity perspective, the 1899 penny is not considered extremely rare in general mintage numbers, but condition plays a major role, and coins in rough condition are common while high-grade examples are much harder to find, and for collectors this creates a wide value range that makes the coin interesting to discuss in videos, especially when comparing worn examples to uncirculated survivors. Today, market value for an 1899 Great Britain one penny in rough condition is usually modest and often ranges from around $2 to $10 depending on eye appeal, damage level, and demand. And while this may seem low, the true attraction lies in its age, story, and connection to Queen Victoria rather than pure monetary worth. Collectors often seek this coin as part of a complete Victorian penny set, and it is frequently used by beginners to enter the world of British numismatics because it is affordable, historically rich, and easy to identify, and the veiled head portrait makes it stand out compared to earlier young head and jubilee head designs, creating a natural narrative progression for educational content. Historically, this penny circulated during a time of rapid industrial growth, expanding railways, global trade, and the height of the British Empire, and when holding such a coin one can imagine it passing through markets, factories, and homes at a moment when Britain influenced much of the world economy, culture, and politics. For our audience, this coin offers a powerful storytelling opportunity because it combines royalty, history, aging, symbolism, and everyday usage, and even a rough condition example can be visually compelling when close-ups reveal worn features that suggest decades of handling and circulation across generations. Explaining that Queen Victoria ruled for more than 60 years and that this veiled head portrait reflects her later life helps viewers emotionally connect with the coin and understand why it looks different from earlier Victorian pennies, and this approach transforms a simple bronze penny into a historical artifact with personality and depth. In conclusion, the 1899 Great Britain one penny with the veiled head of Queen Victoria may not be a high-value treasure in rough condition, but it remains a meaningful collectible worth a few dollars that carries immense historical weight, and for content it serves as a perfect example of how age, history, and human stories can make even the most worn coin fascinating and memorable. Next up, the 1906 Great Britain Edward VII one-penny coin stands as a remarkable symbol of British imperial strength and traditional craftsmanship, struck during the short yet important reign of King Edward VII, and this coin represents a period of confidence, transition, and modern influence within the United Kingdom as the nation moved forward after the long Victorian era, and collectors today admire this penny for its classic bronze appearance, strong historical voice, and lasting connection to early 20th century Britain, making it a fascinating subject for a history and value background story. King Edward VII ruled from 1901 until 1910, and his portrait on the 1906 penny shows a dignified monarch facing right with a calm and confident expression reflecting stability, diplomacy, and the refined style of the Edwardian age. And the absence of a mint mark is normal for British pennies of this era, as they were struck at the Royal Mint in London, and in uncirculated condition this coin retains sharp details, full lettering, and original bronze color, which greatly increases its desirability among collectors and history enthusiasts. The reverse of the 1906 penny features Britannia seated with a trident and shield symbolizing maritime power, national pride, and protection of the realm, and this iconic design had been used on British pennies for generations, linking the Edward VII penny to centuries of British coinage tradition, and when found in uncirculated condition, the fine lines of Britannia, the waves beneath her, and the surrounding legend appear bold and untouched, offering a visual time capsule of Britain at the height of its global influence. Historically, the year 1906 was significant for Britain as social reforms, industrial growth, and international diplomacy shaped daily life, and the penny was a vital part of everyday commerce used by ordinary citizens for food transport and basic goods, and holding this coin today allows collectors to imagine the hands it never passed through preserved instead in mint state condition as a silent witness to Edwardian Britain untouched by circulation and wear. From a rarity perspective, the 1906 Edward VII penny is not extremely rare in lower grades. However, truly uncirculated examples are far more difficult to find due to the heavy circulation of bronze pennies at the time, and most surviving pieces show wear, fading, or surface marks, which makes high-grade specimens especially appealing to serious collectors and investors who value originality, sharp strike, and historical purity. In the current collector's market, an uncirculated 1906 Edward VII penny can have a market value ranging approximately from $50 US to $150 US, depending on color, strike quality, and overall eye appeal, and coins with full red bronze surfaces and no spots may command even higher prices at specialized auctions or private sales, reflecting steady demand for high-quality Edwardian coinage. The value of this coin is supported by strong interest in British pre-decimal coins and by the relatively short reign of Edward VII, which limits the total number of years his portrait appeared on coinage, and this factor, combined with growing global interest in historical coins, has helped maintain and gradually increase the value of uncirculated examples over time, making the 1906 penny both a historical artifact and a modest investment piece. For our audience, this coin offers an excellent storytelling opportunity as it connects royal history, everyday life, and the evolution of money into one compelling narrative, and viewers are often drawn to coins that look almost new despite being over a century old, which makes the uncirculated condition of the 1906 penny especially powerful for visual presentation and educational content. When discussing this coin in a video script, it is effective to emphasize the contrast between its humble face value and its modern collector worth, while highlighting the craftsmanship, symbolism, and historical context of Edwardian Britain, and explaining how preservation and condition can transform an ordinary penny into a valuable collectible that survives as a piece of living history. In conclusion, the 1906 Great Britain Edward VII one-penny coin in uncirculated condition stands as a beautiful and meaningful reminder of a bygone era, combining royal legacy, national symbolism, and collector appeal, and its steady market value, historical depth, and visual charm make it an ideal subject for long-form content that educates, inspires, and connects audiences to the rich story of British coinage and early 20th century history. Next up, the 1911 British George V one-penny coin stands as a powerful symbol of the beginning of a new royal era in the United Kingdom, because this coin was struck just 1 year after King George V ascended the throne, and it represents a moment of transition, stability, and hope for the British Empire at the height of its global influence, and this penny quickly entered daily circulation, becoming a familiar object in the lives of millions of people across Britain and beyond. This historic coin was produced by the Royal Mint in large numbers, and it carries no mint mark, which is completely normal for British pennies of this period, and the obverse features the dignified portrait of King George V facing left, designed by Sir Bertram McKennell, while the reverse displays Britannia seated with shield and trident, a timeless image that had appeared on British pennies for generations, symbolizing strength, continuity, and national pride. In good condition, the 1911 George V penny shows moderate wear with clear details still visible, including the King's portrait, the lettering, and the Britannia design, and while it is not considered extremely rare, it is highly collectible due to its age, historical importance, and the popularity of early George V coinage among collectors around the world. The metal composition of this coin is bronze made from copper, tin, and zinc, which gives it a rich brown tone that collectors appreciate, especially when natural patina has developed over more than a century, and this durable composition helped the coin survive decades of circulation, making surviving examples in decent condition fairly common yet still valuable. When it comes to today market value, the 1911 British one-penny coin in good condition typically ranges between $5 and $15, depending on eye appeal, color, and remaining detail, and higher prices can be achieved for examples with smoother surfaces and more even wear, while exceptional pieces can go beyond this range in stronger collector markets. What truly adds to the charm of this penny is the historical backdrop of its time, because in 1911 Britain was a dominant world power, the empire spanned continents, industrialization was reshaping society, and everyday coins like this penny were used by working families, traders, and businesses during a period of rapid social and economic change. This coin also reflects the early years of George V's reign, a king remembered for guiding Britain through the challenges of the First World War and major transformations within the monarchy, and holding this penny connects collectors directly to the years just before those world-changing events unfolded. For viewers, this coin offers an excellent storytelling opportunity because it combines royal history, everyday life, and tangible value into a single object, and it allows audiences to imagine how such a simple penny passed through countless hands buying bread, newspapers, or tea in Edwardian Britain. Collectors today value the 1911 penny not only for its monetary worth, but for its ability to preserve history in metal form, and it serves as an accessible entry point for new collectors while still holding meaning for experienced numismatists who appreciate classic British designs. In conclusion, the 1911 British George V one-penny coin is a fascinating collectible that balances affordability, history, and visual appeal, and while it may not be the rarest coin in the world, its connection to a pivotal era and its steady market value make it a timeless piece that continues to attract attention from collectors and history lovers alike. Next up, the 1918 British one-penny coin featuring King George V stands as a powerful symbol of a nation living through one of the most dramatic moments in world history, as this copper coin circulated during the final year of the First World War when Britain was facing economic pressure, social change, and global uncertainty, and this coin without a mint mark was struck at the Royal Mint in London, making it a true domestic issue that passed through the hands of soldiers, families, workers, and merchants, and even in very old condition, its worn surfaces tell a story of survival, endurance, and everyday life during wartime Britain. The obverse of the 1918 one-penny coin displays the strong portrait of King George V facing left with a dignified expression that reflected stability and authority at a time when the British Empire stretched across the globe, and the inscription around the portrait emphasized his role as king and emperor, connecting this small coin to a vast imperial system, and even when the details are faded due to age, the presence of the monarch remains clear, reminding collectors that this coin once represented royal power and national unity during a historic era. On the reverse side, the famous seated Britannia design appears holding her trident and shield, symbolizing naval strength, protection, and resilience, and in 1918 this image carried deep meaning as Britain relied heavily on its navy and national spirit to endure the hardships of war, and the date at the bottom marks a turning point year in history, making this penny more than just small change but a witness to the end of global conflict and the beginning of a new uncertain peace. The metal composition of the 1918 British penny is bronze, and due to wartime demands the quality of striking often varied, which is why many surviving examples today appear in very old and heavily worn condition, and this wear actually enhances the historical character of the coin because it proves that it was widely circulated, used daily, and trusted by the public during a time when resources were scarce and life was challenging. In terms of rarity, the 1918 one-penny coin is not extremely rare in general numbers, but finding examples with clear details or special varieties can be difficult, and coins in very old conditions still attract collectors who value history over perfection, and such pieces are often sought by those building date collections or focusing on wartime British coinage, making even worn coins important to the numismatic market. Today, market value of a 1918 British one-penny coin in very old condition generally ranges from about $2 to $8 depending on remaining detail and eye appeal, while higher grade examples can reach much higher values, and rare varieties or errors from this year can sell for significantly more, showing how condition and uniqueness play a major role in determining final price. For collectors and history lovers, this coin represents more than its monetary value because it connects directly to the lives of ordinary people during one of the hardest periods in modern history, and holding a 1918 penny allows one to imagine wartime rationing, factory labor letters from the front, and the emotional relief felt when the war finally came to an end. As a background story, this coin offers rich storytelling potential because it blends royal imagery, wartime struggle, economic history, and everyday life into one simple object, and viewers are often fascinated by how such a small coin can carry the weight of global events and personal stories, making it ideal for long, engaging historical narration. The absence of a mint mark simplifies identification for beginners while still offering depth for advanced collectors who may search for subtle differences in die, wear, lettering, or strike quality, and this makes the 1918 penny a perfect entry point for those new to British coins while still holding long-term interest for experienced numismatists. In conclusion, the 1918 British one-penny coin featuring King George V remains a timeless artifact of resilience and transition, and even in very old condition it stands as a silent witness to war, empire, and change, and its modest dollar value today cannot fully measure its historical importance, which continues to grow as new generations discover the powerful stories hidden within this small bronze coin. Next up, the 1928 British one-penny coin is a remarkable piece of numismatic history from the reign of King George V, and it represents a period in the United Kingdom when coins were not only currency but also symbols of stability and tradition. This coin features the familiar portrait of King George V on the obverse side, showcasing the monarch with a dignified expression wearing the imperial crown and robes that signify his royal authority and the enduring legacy of the British monarchy during the early 20th century. The reverse side carries the traditional design of a seated Britannia holding a trident and shield, which has been a classic emblem of British strength and maritime prowess for centuries. Collectors and historians alike find this design deeply evocative of a time when Britain was a leading global power, and coins like these circulated widely across the empire, making them a tangible link to the past. The 1928 penny is a copper coin with a diameter of 30 millimeters and a weight of approximately 9.4 grams. This coin has no mint mark, which means it was produced at the Royal Mint in London. The coin's composition of 95% copper, 4% tin, and 1% zinc gives it a distinct reddish-brown appearance that is often darkened with age due to natural oxidation. The very rough condition of some surviving coins makes them highly collectible because it tells a story of decades of circulation and usage, which adds to their historical significance despite the wear and tear experienced over nearly a century. The historical context of the 1928 penny is fascinating because it was minted during a period of post-war recovery and social change in Britain. The country was still feeling the effects of the First World War, and the economy was undergoing gradual reconstruction. King George V played a stabilizing role as a monarch, and his coins were symbols of continuity and trust in the government. For ordinary people, receiving this coin in their hands would have been an everyday experience, yet it also served as a reminder of the wider world and Britain's position in it. The designs chosen for these coins were carefully selected to convey authority, tradition, and a sense of national pride. Collectors today prize the 1928 penny for both its age and its historical significance. Many coins survive, but few are in high-quality condition, with a very rough examples telling a story of heavy circulation and extensive use over time. These coins have become valuable not just for their metal content, but for their numismatic interest. The market value for a 1928 British penny in very rough condition can vary significantly depending on the buyer and the specific coin, but in general it is considered rare and can fetch anywhere from a modest sum to several $100s for serious collectors looking to fill gaps in their collections. The design elements of the coin are emblematic of King George V's reign. The effigy of the king was created by Bertram McKennell, a renowned sculptor who brought a realistic and detailed style to the portrait. His depiction of the king was used on coins for many years and is now instantly recognizable to collectors and historians. The reverse side with Britannia is also an enduring symbol reflecting Britain's naval dominance and cultural identity. This combination of artistry and symbolism makes the 1928 penny a miniature work of art and a significant piece of British heritage that goes beyond its monetary value. In terms of rarity, the 1928 penny is notable because it was part of a series of coins produced in the late 1920s when coinage was transitioning towards modernization, yet still deeply rooted in traditional designs. The fact that this coin has survived nearly a century in any condition is impressive and speaks to the durability of the minting process used at the Royal Mint during King George V's reign. Even in very rough condition, the coin retains its historical charm, and collectors often seek such coins to complete date sets or to showcase examples of coins that were heavily circulated and well used in their time. The coin also reflects changes in society and economics. During the 1920s, the interwar period was marked by fluctuating prices, wages, and the beginning of modern consumer culture. Coins like the 1928 penny were everyday tools of commerce, but also tangible reminders of national identity and pride. Receiving this coin in the hands of workers, shopkeepers, and children would have been a small yet significant interaction with the symbols of monarchy and nation. The coin therefore has social and cultural significance beyond its role as currency, and it continues to attract interest from people fascinated by history and the stories that coins can tell. From a numismatic perspective, the 1928 penny is highly collectible because it represents both a specific year in King George V's reign and a transitional period in British coinage. The absence of a mint mark signifies it was minted in London, and many collectors focus on differences in strike quality, patina, and where, when assessing its value, coins in very rough condition often show evidence of extensive circulation, scratches, dents, and discoloration, yet these imperfections are part of the coin's story and can make it more appealing to collectors interested in authentic historical artifacts rather than pristine examples. The market for British coins has grown significantly over the years, and the 1928 penny has been part of auctions, private sales, and online marketplaces. Its rarity and age make it a desirable addition for collectors specializing in King George V coinage or early 20th century British pennies. While coins in mint or uncirculated condition command the highest prices, even those in very rough condition hold value due to their historical significance and scarcity. The story behind each coin often contributes as much to its appeal as the coin itself, making the 1928 penny a fascinating subject for study and collection. In conclusion, the 1928 British one-penny coin featuring King George V is more than just a piece of currency. It is a tangible link to British history, art, and society. It reflects the reign of a monarch, the skill of engravers, the economic and social realities of the 1920s, and the enduring interest of collectors worldwide. Its very rough condition tells a story of use and survival, while its rarity and Design make it a valuable and cherished coin today. Its market value continues to grow as collectors seek to preserve and celebrate pieces of history that connect us to the past, and the 1928 penny remains an iconic representation of Britain's numismatic heritage and the legacy of King George V. Thanks for watching.